So picture this, you're a first-year student at the University of Florida, and in the midst of this pandemic, you're trying to make some friends or maybe talk to new individuals. So hopefully by the time this pandemic ends, your day might look something like this. You'll wake up, you'll get dressed, and you'll head to campus either by your car, a bus, maybe your bike, or even walking. And so by the time you get to campus, you will get in your classrooms. That will happen every single day or every other day, and you'll begin to meet new people from a wide array of different backgrounds. And so when you try to befriend some of these people, you might not be able to. It's only because of a simple language barrier, or maybe even not having access to readily available technologies or bilingual resources. So for this problem, for students such as you and I, technical communication is imperative for the classroom environment, and providing language access tools for different students that might have a language barrier between them, and especially for those in my major, such as political science, located in Anderson Hall behind me, or for the international relations studies, we may use machine translators such as Microsoft Translator to better start on our language proficiency or to circumnavigate this language barrier. And to use MTs in the future, we might, as students ourselves, start on language proficiency for future job applications, such as through the Foreign Service, for Peace Corps, or maybe for an abroad work visa. Well, back in the safety of my home now, let me explain how machine translators function and how Microsoft Translator in turn enables us to pass between these technical communication barriers. Simply put, the applications for how machine translators work are complex and involve several steps of a developed algorithm that match words and phrases from a source text to its intended targeted language. Microsoft's own translator is a twofold system, which runs on a so-called statistical machine translation, or an SMT, that is built to provide contextual translations in computer systems. However, more recently, Microsoft Translator runs on what is called a neural machine translation, or an NMT system. The SMT involves matching the best phrases or words between each language together and actualizing the best translation into a sentence through a cohesive linguistic model or statistical data. The NMT system's development is relatively new to translation providers, which attempts to learn through artificial intelligence, or AI. Counter to the previous SMT system, the NMT system translates the full context of the sentence rather than just a few words at a time. Through the NMT system, words and phrases are encoded into two-dimensional vectors, which are on the 500 or 1000 level scale, and then are deciphered as with the SMT system, matching each word of a sentence to its contextual equivalent in its intended targeted language. Only, the NMT system is vastly faster, as the first word is translated in association with the rest of the sentence's words and/or phrases in quick succession. This covers the textual translated aspect of Microsoft Translator, which also has an audible translation where speech is first converted from audio to text through an automatic speech recognition software, or an ASR, that uses neural networks, NNs related to AI intelligence, from human interactions, not from human to machine, but human from human interactions. Then Microsoft's True Text system simplifies the phrases and confirms it for translation, removing any repetitive phrases or hesitations that are present in verbal speech patterns, with phrases such as ums, uhs, or eh. Then the text is inputted into the NMT system of translation, as we have already previously discussed, and can be translated back audibly. Accordingly, Microsoft acknowledges that the two systems of the SMT and the NMT have two commonalities. Both need human input to develop their systems, and they're not dictionaries, but only provide potential translations. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hi. I am so sorry for all the information that you just had to go through with the machine translators. That's how it works, and that, trust me, that's the dumbed down version of that. But I know your head's probably spinning like the record player you were just on, but let me now show you the pros and cons of using such machine translations, such as Microsoft Translator, in everyday applications, and how useful it is as a service to the wider general audience of users. Microsoft Translator as a tool for early language proficiency can be highly valued for its web service as well as mobile translator. One of the main aspects that make Microsoft Translator great is that it's free. Moreover, the web application's layout is simple with 4 pages that include a textual translation software, a history log of past translated words or phrases, its conversation log enabling users to privately chat through both textual and audible translation to each other's respective languages, and a phrasebook for easily accessible and everyday translations that might help in quick timing. For students, this tool is understandably great as its easy to figure out layout is comprehensible to the naked eye, and can be readily used by anyone wanting or willing to start up a conversation with others not being able to do so verbally. Especially when it comes to the live conversation and phrasebook features, do students in foreign exchange programs that either speak a foreign language or are attempting to communicate in real time see the biggest impact, as the translations provided by Microsoft's touted 90 languages enables quick and active conversations to become plausible in the classroom environment. In terms of a technical communicator, the use of machine translations benefits can be actively seen in student life. As Natasha N. Jones would suggest in her article, she would potentially see this translator in the rising field of technical communication as a humanistic approach to better communicate objectives with other individuals and to better innovate communication in the current century. Moreover, by using translator learning tools, students can give voice to those who may be marginalized in a, quote, rhetorical space of opportunity, unquote, on campus, providing means to enact social justice through communication. This is akin to William Hart Davidson's article, where he suggests technical communicators should focus on information systems, such as translators, to better provide a, quote, dynamic, stable, reliable, and usable, unquote, systems that can, quote, customized, be flexible, and reusable, unquote. By using the conversation log on the app, as Huan Tong in her article might suggest, we may, as political scientists, international study majors, or technical communicators, transform the growing popularity of text messaging through Microsoft's Translator's web application to better localize interactions in a, quote, broader context, unquote. On the flip side, the Microsoft Translator does have its kickbacks, as I mentioned earlier from Microsoft's own webpage on MTs. The problems arise as the words translated are just merely potential translations, and are learning from humans, which can be faulty. Another major problem that was spotted among the user-generated feedback collected on campus, and noted similarly in an article by Vickie, Iler, and Amber H. Beisly, was the limitations in some language formats that the translator did not provide, or even the single dialect of Spanish that is offered on the app. This is a problem more pronounced for the students at the University of Florida, as the next major racial group in the 2020 enrollment that makes up the student body is those of the Hispanic or Latino or Latina community, accounting for potentially 20.39% of language barriers. Though I'm sure that many do speak English as a native language, it nonetheless shows its potential for not being accessible to all major language speakers. Finally, the largest pushback from student-generated feedback was the mobile application of Microsoft Translator, as unlike its web-based design, it can be harder to navigate for potential users, as images guide users through the app without any sort of text to indicate what service does what function. Altogether, this video has reviewed a basic problem of technical communication through language barriers by exploring a web-based translation tool. In all, we reviewed how machine translations work, especially how the Microsoft Translator worked itself. We explored the Microsoft Translator's web application for its net positive for students, particularly in terms of its technical communication counterpart, and finally gave it some feedback from the potential negative aspects rounding our adventure together. And I thank you for watching this video, so I hope you stay safe and happy communicating.